2 a.m. The house is completely quiet. You're almost asleep, and then, without warning, your brain hands you a memory. Something embarrassing you said 3 years ago. A minor, awkward interaction that everyone else has long forgotten, but to you, in this dark room, it feels like it happened 5 minutes ago. Why does your mind choose the middle of the night to replay these awkward moments? It feels like a design flaw, a form of mental self-sabotage that keeps us awake. But cognitive science shows that this isn't a glitch. It is actually your brain trying to do a very specific job. And once you understand the simple biological trigger that opens this door at night, you can use a basic cognitive tool to turn the replay loop off. Here's the first shift in how to look at this. Your brain isn't replaying that memory to torture you. It's replaying it because, as far as your subconscious is concerned, the situation is unfinished. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. In the 1920s, a researcher named Zeigarnik sat in a busy Vienna cafe and noticed something fascinating about the waiters. They could remember incredibly complex, unpaid orders with perfect accuracy. But the moment the bill was paid, the memory vanished completely from their minds. To the brain, an unpaid order is an open loop. It requires active mental energy to keep track of. But a paid bill is a closed loop. The brain can safely delete it. An awkward social moment is a classic open loop. It didn't have a clean resolution. Maybe you walked away feeling unsure, or you never got reassurance from the other person that things were fine. There was no paid bill signal. So your brain keeps that memory file sitting right on the front of your mental desk, flagged as urgent. During the day, your desk is crowded. You're answering emails, driving, scrolling, and talking. The noise crowds the open loop out. But at 2 a.m., when the phone is face down and the room is dark, the noise disappears. Suddenly, the desk is empty. The brain spots that bright red flag, and it pulls the file. Your natural instinct when this happens is to fight it. You try to force the thought away. Stop thinking about this. It doesn't matter, just go to sleep. But let's try a quick experiment right now. For the next 10 seconds, I want you to absolutely not think about a white bear. Do whatever you can to block it, ignore it, and keep it out of your head. If you're like most people, the image of a white bear is now front and center. This is what psychologists call the ironic process theory of mental control. To verify that you are not thinking about something, a part of your mind has to constantly monitor for it. And to monitor for it, it has to think about it. You cannot guard the door without constantly looking at who is trying to get in. So at 2 a.m., when you tell yourself to stop replaying the memory, you are actually rehearsing it. You are running the neural pathways over and over again. And rehearsal is how the brain builds stronger connections, not how it lets them go. The harder you fight to suppress the loop, the louder and stickier it becomes. So if fighting the thought doesn't work, how do you get your brain to set it down? You have to give the loop a closing signal that your mind recognizes as completion. Here are 3 simple, research-backed tools you can test tonight. The first tool is externalizing. Keep a notebook and pen right next to your bed. If a memory starts looping, write a single line about it. Not a long, emotional journal entry, just a concrete statement. Thinking about the presentation from 3 years ago. The physical act of moving the thought out of your head and onto a page acts like a temporary filing cabinet. Your brain knows the thought is recorded somewhere safe, so it feels permitted to let it go. The second tool is to identify the missing signal. Ask yourself, what is this loop waiting for? Usually, it's waiting to change the past or waiting for reassurance you will never get. Just naming that out loud, I am waiting to change something I can't change, helps your brain realize the loop is chasing a ghost. The third tool is to label your brain's state. At 2 a.m., the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that keeps things in perspective and regulates emotion, is low on energy. The emotional alarm centers of the brain are running the show. The memory isn't actually worse tonight. Your brain's capacity to handle it is just low. Note to yourself, this is a 2 a.m. perspective. It's the tired version of the story, not the true one. Having a mind that replays these moments doesn't mean you are broken. In fact, the same sensitivity and care that keeps you awake at night is exactly what makes you a thoughtful, empathetic, and kind person during the day. It's just a healthy brain mechanism running at the wrong hour. Write the single line, label the tired narrator, and let the file go. If you want to understand more about why our minds do strange things in the quiet hours, we explore the default mode network and sleep psychology in our next video. Take care of yourself and sleep well.